What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Queen Romey, back with another video. And I have a guest on my channel, and I'm gonna let her explain her name and her channel and what she got going on, okay?
Hi everybody, so I'm Asad Talks. You can call me Kim regularly. My channel is basically about conversation that we have every day. Okay, so the purpose of my channel is to basically make everyday conversations that we have with our friends the norm. And the overall focus is to bring like awareness to mental health. So today I'm just going to ask Queen Romey some very direct questions that's related to her mental health, is related to her lifestyle, her family history. It's not too many questions, so I'm just gonna, get right into it. So the topic today is homosexuality and mental health. The first question I have for you, I'm gonna turn around. At what point did you know you were attracted to women? Tell me the whole story. Don't just tell me the age.
Okay, I had lived with an abusive father, and I had multiple men abuse me. So I had always had a thing for men. I never lost a thing for men. I just felt that, let me see if a woman might work, but I didn't do it like, oh, I'm about to go out and find this girl. It wasn't like that. It was more or less, I was going to school. I was going to a Patterson in Ohio, and I was across the street with a couple friends of mine, and we was on a bus, and like, you're going to school. I think we were leaving school, and she was across the street, and I was like, oh yeah, she cute. At first, when I first seen her from the back, I thought it was a boy, but as soon as she turned, I was like, yeah, that's a girl. I like her. So I wanted to figure out what she was more like. So I was 16 years old when I figured it out. Like, I find women attractive, and with her, I didn't really experience anything, but I did. I didn't like it then. And then I had met another woman, and then I really engaged into like, okay, this is what I really want. This is like, I like this.
Okay. Were you the same age when you met the second woman?
I was 17 when I met her. It was right after her, and actually they were friends.
Okay.
Yeah, they were friends. And we were all at the club. You got them teen clubs. I was at a teen club, and my girlfriend at the time, she was in the back with another girl, and she was grinding on her. So I'm like, okay. And this other girl, well, I didn't really know they was really friends until after. Honestly, I didn't know until after. I knew that we were all hung around each other. I seen everybody hang around. I seen them hang around each other, but I didn't know that they were friends, like real tight. But after the fact, I found out they were really good friends. So. I just started talking to her. I really liked her. I dated her for like 4.5 years.
Ooh, okay. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So
we known each other for dated 3. So we talked for a year, dated for a year, so about 4.5.
Okay. Okay, and which sex would you prefer the most? A woman or a man?
I don't know if I prefer one or the other more, because they both have their purpose of pleasing. And what I like in one and what I don't like in the other. They don't have men. The difference between the men, for me, the men are more, it's like a more controlling thing.
Girl, listen, y'all see me, I was about to say, can you get deep into it? Because when she said they both had their, like my whole head was like, all right, so
okay,
tell me more.
So with the men being so aggressive and controlling, I dealt with that my whole life, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to do more of the controlling.
Okay.
So because I'm dominant in so many areas, I felt like maybe I should just go ahead and just do this girl thing. But I start finding myself like the more masculine ones were starting to gravitate towards me, but I truly liked the feminine ones.
Okay.
I like to see a girl dress up and be some heels, put some heels on, put her hair on, doing this. I like that, but I dated only studs. I had a lot of STEM interactions, but dating only studs. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They have their differences of women more soft, more tender. I can be more I can let my hair down. I don't have to be uptight. Because men, you have to feel like you're a woman and you have to do everything right. You have to fall in line, as they say. And no, it's not always like that.
You know, so you would say you're more of the stud.
I will feel like I'm not more of a stud, but I'm definitely not a stud. I am definitely a girly girl.
Okay.
I just,
I see it. You got your nails
I'm
done.
definitely
hair
just, a little, a little aggressive.
Okay. All right. Well, I just met Queen Romey like a month or two ago?
A month. No, it was like we met each other. Didn't we have our class in December?
Yes, we did. Okay, so that was like 2 months ago.
We have our class in December.
And just to speak on her aggressiveness, not in like a negative way. No, I do understand what she's saying when she say aggressive. I had that thought when I was getting to know you. I'm like, she has when I first met you, I'm like, she has like an aggressive, personality.
I do.
But it's like authentic. It's like, you know what you want.
Yes, you have to.
Want it now.
Oh yeah, I am definitely that person. I have to have it, especially if I want it. And with me being how I'm putting myself in a position where I can just work for me, I have to have some type of control. You have to have the control of what you want in life, because you can have all these different angles and things you want to do, but if you have no structure, you're just out here doing it. It's never going to get done.
And not only the structure part, but you also need the support behind you.
Yes,
it's
you
not
do.
just about structure.
Yes.
And that leads me to my next question. Some kids, they start noticing this attraction to the same sex at a younger age than
16.
Than Queen Romey did. And they face a lot of difficulties. So that's my next question. Like at that age, from like 16 up to how old you are now, what are some of the difficulties that you have faced with like your sexual orientation?
My dad was not really happy with it. It was a very aggressive way of saying disliking.
Okay.
You have a lot of people. I had a lot of people in my family, call me nasty and say that that's yuck. And men is supposed to be with a woman, and a woman's supposed to be with a man. And we're living in a 20th century, so you're seeing more open-minded people and things that aren't the norm anymore. The norm used to be closed in. This norm is open. You able to know and be able to have the love for anybody that you want around. It doesn't have to be the same skin complexion, the same, same gender. But being a black girl and having people be like, you are better off with a man. I'm better off with a man, okay. Why do you feel that I'm better off with a man? And being talked down on a lot, it plays a big effect on it, because I'm black and I'm gay.
Right. Okay.
What are you doing with yourself? Like, are you gonna have kids? I mean, you can still have kids with 2 women. I don't understand why people don't understand
you can.
it.
I don't understand it neither. I really don't.
It's so many children in the world that need parents.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all about self-determination. Okay. My profession taught me this, and I've always been that human being where it's like, I think it's awesome when somebody is like confident with their self. Whether another person agrees with it, we have so many different things right now, like religion and just our own personal beliefs that we gather up from our family history, being raised. It
plays a lot with the relationship and everything else.
It does. And I'm not really a fan of negative talk down. Like I don't like when people talk down on people simply because they want to portray themselves as this.
Right.
Like that's not cool. How did you deal with those negative things that people said to you, like over the years? Like what are some of it could be like an activity, it could be like a thought, an affirmation? What are some of the things that you did to cope, up to now?
Well, as a child, coping was very different because I didn't know how to cope with it. You have to understand how to cope and know when to cope with things in the right way. I was more of a kid that wanted to try different things. I've tried cutting myself. I tried, different drugs to keep myself from feeling that if I stayed numb, I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to deal with it right then and there. But as I grew older, when I got in my teens and got the counseling that I needed from a very, very strong lady, I love her so much, rest in peace. She did a wonderful job with me. Miss Sarah really did a wonderful, wonderful job with me. She definitely took me under her wing. And she was a woman that had went through the same thing I went through with my father. My father molested me, so I had to deal with all the molestation from all these different men. And out here doing what I choose to want to do as a teenager. And being judged so many times, writing.
That can get so
draining.
Yes.
I wrote.
Ooh.
I wrote a lot.
Snap on writing. Snap on writing. Snap on writing, because I'm a writer. That's how I deal with some, negativity. That's how I deal with my trauma. I can relate to you, not directly, but I can relate to you when you when you said that writing. That just like,
it feels good when you be able to get it out.
Yes, it's like a space where you're just expressing yourself, and that's how I have been able to cope with some of my difficulties. Not necessarily that somebody is talking down on me, but people talking down on you, calling you names, your whoever in your family, whatever, people in general not supporting you, that can be traumatic.
And it can
at some point.
That actually is traumatic.
Yes.
That is a behavior. I mean, that is not a behavior. Look at me. That is
it can be.
Right, it definitely can be.
Shoot. But they probably talking, doing something to create the trauma, calling you names.
Yeah.
So it comes from a behavior. But that's how I dealt with some of my trauma, is writing. Oh man, writing. Everybody should write.
Definitely.
It could be anything.
Write daily. I write daily every day.
It could be anything.
You can write a quote, a name, a sentence, a block. As long as you writing something, whatever is in your mind, you can put it on that piece of paper. Seriously. Especially if something that's gonna help your mind have clarity.
Yes.
I do that.
Get a notebook and write. Get a notebook and write. Y'all, I'm sorry, but I want my channel to be as authentic as possible. And listen,
it's good to help friends out.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, that's why I'm happy I chose to do this with Chloe. Because I really feel like she's gonna teach me a lot. But I really wanted to connect with Chloe on camera. I feel like we've connected off camera. So I wanted to connect with her on camera, and that I feel like I really did connect to you on a deeper level just now. Yeah. And I feel like we have conversations like this regularly with our friends. And when we have conversations like this, and the next friend have it with another friend, and then that friend that you're having the conversation about finds out, it's like, why were you talking about me? So I guess on camera, I'm saying that, Chloe, I may have to have another conversation with a loved one about what we're doing today. And I hope you don't take that in a negative way. No. Like, I'm not going to be talking about you negatively. But that's one of my goals, is I don't want us to see conversations in a negative light. I mean, unless the person is like directly talking down on you.
My story, I mean, although I went through what I'm doing and I'm writing this book, It's gonna be definitely open for the world to see.
Okay.
The conversation is good to have with your friends because you never know what that next person means. I had so many friends in my lifetime that never knew that I was going through what I was going through as a kid. And for them to be adults, us to be adults now, and they be like, dang, Chloe, that really happened. That what? Like people knew that. My pops was in jail. They knew what he went to jail for, but some of them didn't have no idea because I kept it normal.
Yeah.
I know how to balance myself. I knew how to balance what I wanted people to see and what I didn't want them to see. And I'm like that to this day.
Okay. I want to bring awareness to mental health. I want to bring awareness to conversations, general conversations we have with our friends. And I don't want it to be seen in a negative light. So,
love YouTube. Okay. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a grandma, tell a grandpa, because you know Romey's out in back. And if you are new to this video and you have not hit the subscribe button, what are you doing? It's just a click away and you'll be on your way. Hit the bell and just be on. And I'm going to let my friend close out her name, and I'm going to make sure I put her name down in the description box.
All right, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Asad Talks. Let's converse. And you know what? If you feel like you want to have a conversation with me, we can do Zoom. We can, we can get it popping. But make sure you subscribe to Asad Talks. Thank you.
We out.